Fallout 4 gets tons of new details about its survival mode, plus Todd Howard comments about the 3 games in production over at Bethesda. Can anyone say Elder Scrolls 6? Hello there, my fellow Wasteland Wonders and Vault Dwellers. Today we're surviving in the harsh Boston Wasteland. So special thanks to Reddit user Shane D53 for digging into the Fallout 4 game files. He managed to find out some additional details about the upcoming survival mode. But before we begin, you can find Todd Howard's comments about Bethesda's 3 game projects in the description below, so be sure to check that out. And let's just say they're getting busy over there, and I can't wait to see what they are actually doing with Elder Scrolls 6. Anyway, let's break down the survival mode details from the Fallout 4 file, so here we go. So we get a ton of changes to the difficulty setting once you go into the survival difficulty. You just go to the options menu and select survival difficulty right there. Now, it changes how you save the game. First of all, there's, of course, manual and quick saving, which are now disabled once you enter into this difficulty. But how in the world do you save your game? So you'll need to find a bed and sleep there for at least an hour. I really do like this system. It makes traveling in the world more meaningful, and of course safe houses and settlements that much more meaningful. So you're definitely going to want to consider where you are before you head out into the game world. And I would imagine that this would definitely be for hardcore players that are more familiar with the world. I think it's going to be a ton of fun having to find that bed and surviving with your gained XP up until that point. It makes it a lot more hardcore. And oh, by the way, there are actually bed types now, and it goes on to describe them as this. The type of bed you're sleeping in determines the length of time you are able to stay asleep. A sleeping bag will save your game and may help save your life when you're desperate, but it will never allow for a full night's rest and the benefits that come with it. So it definitely sounds like you're going to want to find a proper bed and not a sleeping bag for sure. And this time, crippled limbs will no longer auto-heal after combat and will remain crippled until healed by a stim pack. And what changes will we see for companions? Well, companions will no longer automatically get back up if down during combat, and will return home if abandoned without being healed. Well, at least they will return home as well. There's no mention, though, if there's going to be permanent death related to companions. It seems like that is not going to be the case. Besides, companions are very important to the story anyway. Now, they go on to say this about enemy and loot repopulation. Locations you've cleared will now repopulate enemies and loot at a significantly slower rate, which is good news considering its hardcore nature. That part makes a lot of sense to make it a little bit more manageable and, of course, more realistic. Now, what has changed for combat? Well, combat, of course, is going to be more lethal for everyone. You now deal, but also take more damage. You can increase the damage you deal even further with adrenaline. But what is adrenaline? Well, it goes on to describe adrenaline as this. Survival automatically grants the adrenaline perk, which provides a bonus to your damage output. Unlike other perks, the only way to increase your rank of the adrenaline perk is by getting kills, hostile or otherwise. So it sounds like you can kill poor, innocent NPCs around the world if you wanted to. Now, the higher your adrenaline rank, the higher the damage bonus. Sleeping for more than an hour, however, will cause your adrenaline rank to lower. So as you can see, this adrenaline rank actually fluctuates compared to all the other perks that you have for your character, which is pretty cool. That actually does remind me sort of what the Division is doing with their Dark Zone rank. You can check your current adrenaline rank at any time in the perk section on the stat tab in your Pip-Boy. So you're going to really want to be careful actually with how much you're going to be sleeping and saving in the game. So when you actually go to save your game, there's a penalty to your adrenaline perk, so you really need to be careful with that. But yeah, it's nice to see that you will take more damage than in the normal modes of the game. That makes a ton of sense, and I'm also glad that they are having it where you deal additional damage as well to make it that more realistic as you play in the game world. It's going to be very intense with the firefights for sure. You're not going to be battling against bullet sponges, it seems, and you're not going to be a bullet sponge yourself. So I approve that for this hardcore survival mode. And what about fast travel, you ask? Well, very good question indeed. Get this, fast travel is completely disabled. If you wish to be somewhere, you're going to have to physically travel there. So you're going to have that in your mind constantly, especially if you have a quest that's clear across the map. You're going to have to consider where the nearest bed is, where your settlements are, and that sort of thing. And building settlements is going to be more important than ever before, because they're definitely going to be acting as those save points and those safe havens that you will be seeking, believe you me. And if you think that inventory management was a pain in the butt before, well, get this. There's going to be weighted ammo. They describe it as this. Bullets and shells now all have a small amount of weight, which varies by caliber. Heavier items such as fusion cores, rockets, and mini nukes can really drag you down. So it sounds like looting the environment is going to be even more difficult this time around, and you're not going to be able to carry an infinite amount of ammunition in your pockets this time. You're going to have to be very considerate when looting the world and what you keep and what you throw away in this game. So building up your settlement is going to be more difficult for sure, because those crafting items combined with the weighted ammo is going to be trouble to your inventory. And this bit I really like, and involves the compass. It goes on to describe the new compass as this. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled, as enemies will no longer appear on your compass. As well, the distance at which locations of interest will appear has been significantly shortened. So it seems like you're going to be going around this world dependent on your eyeballs 100%. This time, sight and sound, and not your radar or compass, which is really nice, because you're going to have to really pay attention to the wasteland as you go, and be a little bit more cautious as you go as well, because there could be a legendary enemy lurking around the corner. You never know. So there's even more to worry about when surviving in the wasteland now. You're going to have to worry about your wellness. And this is how it's being described. You'll find it difficult to survive without taking proper care of yourself. You must stay hydrated, fed, and rested to remain combat ready. Going for extended periods of time without food, water, or sleep will begin to adversely affect your health, hurting your special stats, adding to your fatigue, lowering your immunity, and eventually even dealing physical damage to you. Man, oh man. Now, this is definitely going to be bringing meaning to exploring the game world, and especially to looting every single corner of the game space. You know, this time around, you're definitely going to want to have more space in your inventory reserved for food and water. Even more so than, you know, other things in your inventory. They go on to say that you're going to be adversely affecting your health, hurting your special stats, and adding to your fatigue. Now, there is a description about what fatigue is. They go on to say fatigue works like radiation, but affects your action points rather than your hit points. The more fatigue you've built up, the less AP you'll have for other actions. The amount of fatigue you've accumulated is displayed in red on your AP bar. This is going to hurt you in VATS mode especially. So as you can see, not eating, not taking care of yourself is going to be a big deal when you enter VATS mode. And then there's the bit about lowering your immunity. This applies to sickness. Now, this is what they had to say about sickness. A compromised immune system and a few questionable decisions can end up getting you killed. Eating uncooked meat, drinking unpurified water, taking damage from disease-ridden sources such as ghouls and bugs, or using harmful chems all put your body at increased risks for various ill effects. When you are afflicted with an illness, a message will appear on screen. You could view specifics about your current illness by navigating to the status section on your Pip-Boy's data tab and pressing the right shoulder button to view your active effects. So it seems like there's going to be additional sicknesses and illnesses when eating raw meat, drinking unpurified water, and using harmful chems and that sort of thing. And of course, your wellness is going to affect your immunity to sickness. So if you are not taking care of yourself by eating properly and staying hydrated, you're going to be affecting your immunity. which could actually get you sick in the game world. This is going to be a lot to worry about on your mind. You thought that you'd have to worry about just combat, but you're going to have to worry about a ton more now as you explore. Oh yeah, then there's antibiotics. This is what they say about antibiotics. Antibiotics, which can be crafted at chem stations or purchased from doctors, heal various effects of sickness. To me, this is like a brand new Fallout 4. You're going to want to really consider stocking up on proper food, medications, and really stay hydrated. So I can imagine just a lot of your inventory being used for that more than anything else. And you know, it might be safer to stay out of some confrontations in the game world, especially at the beginning, simply because it's so important in survival mode to really take care of yourself first and foremost. The world will be very unforgiving. So there you have it, all the latest details about Fallout 4's survival mode. Remember, we have 3 expansions coming up here soon. Cannot wait for that. And then also, remember, there's going to be a beta for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. We will be having more additional details about that soon, so stay tuned here to Open World Games for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed this, and subscribe if you are new to Open World Games and if you want more Fallout 4 coverage and open world gaming goodness. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the Boston Wasteland.